Hello and welcome everyone to another exciting episode of Mr. Ali English Podcast. I'm your host, Ali.
And I'm Sarah. It feels so good to be with you all today. If you're new to this podcast, let me tell you what we do here. We make English learning fun, easy, and practical by talking about real news, real issues, and real conversations.
That's right, Sarah. Instead of just grammar lessons or boring vocabulary lists, we use the news and real events happening around the world to teach you English in context. So while you're improving your language skills, you're also staying informed.
Exactly. And today, we have a very important story from the United States. It's the #1 trending news in the world right now. Ali, are you ready to share it?
Yes. Today's biggest headline is the U.S. government shutdown. What is a shutdown?
The word shutdown sounds very dramatic. For many of our listeners, especially those outside America, it may sound confusing. What exactly does it mean?
Good question. In the U.S., the government needs Congress, like the national parliament, to approve money to run everything. If they fail to agree on a budget, the government basically runs out of money. And when that happens, many offices stop working. That's called a government shutdown.
So it's not like the whole country stops, right?
No, not the whole country. Schools, hospitals, and state governments keep running. But federal agencies, like the FBI, NASA, Immigration Services, and many others, close or reduce their services. And that affects millions of people. Who gets affected? During this shutdown, around 750,000 federal workers are affected. Some are furloughed, meaning they're told to stay at home without pay. Others are forced to work but without receiving their salaries until the shutdown ends.
Wait, they keep working but don't get paid? That sounds really unfair.
It is unfair. Imagine going to work every day, keeping airports safe, protecting borders, or serving in the military, but your salary doesn't come. Families who depend on those paychecks are under a lot of stress right now.
Listeners, think about your own life. If you didn't get paid for 1 or 2 months, how would you pay rent? How would you buy food? That's the reality for many U.S. families during a shutdown. Why did it happen? But why is this happening again? Didn't America already have shutdowns before?
Yes, you're right. The last big one was in 2018 during Donald Trump's presidency, and it lasted 35 days, the longest in U.S. history. Now, in 2025, it's happening again because politicians couldn't agree on a new budget.
So what's the fight about this time? President Trump says the shutdown is a chance to cut unnecessary spending. He wants to reduce the size of government. But Democrats argue that it's irresponsible because millions of workers and their families are suffering. Basically, it's a political tug of war, and the workers are caught in the middle. Tug of war is the perfect image, two sides pulling hard and the people in the middle are the ones getting hurt. Impact on economy. Let's talk about the impact. How does a shutdown affect the U.S. economy?
Great question. If the shutdown continues for weeks, it can harm the economy in many ways. For example, government loans for students and businesses may be delayed. Food aid and healthcare services might slow down. National parks and museums close, which hurts tourism. Scientific research stops because labs run out of funds.
And it also damages America's global image, right? People around the world see the most powerful country unable to pay its workers.
Yes, exactly. It shows division and instability. That makes investors nervous and allies worried. So the cost is not only financial, but also political. Since this is the Mr. Ali English podcast, let's pause and learn some important words. Shutdown, when the government temporarily closes because of no budget. Furlough, when workers are told to stay home without pay. Essential services, services necessary for safety and basic life, like police, airports, and hospitals. Budget deadlock, when politicians can't agree on how to spend money. Repeat after us. Shutdown, furlough, essential services, budget deadlock, good. These words are powerful because they connect you to real news in English.
You know, Ali, sometimes news feels very technical, budgets, politics, numbers, but behind every headline, there are human stories.
Absolutely. For example, one federal worker said she doesn't know how she'll pay rent this month. Another worker at the airport said, "We're keeping passengers safe, but we don't know if we can buy groceries." These are real people's struggles.
And that's why news matters. It's not only about politics, but about people's lives.
What happens next? So what happens now? Lawmakers are still negotiating. The shutdown could end tomorrow or it could last weeks. No one knows. But the pressure is growing every day.
And for us, the lesson is clear. Politics isn't just about leaders and debates. It's about how decisions affect ordinary people.
Well said, Sarah. And I want to leave our listeners with a question. If your country's government shut down and you didn't get your salary, what would you do? How would your life change? Think about it. And if you want, share your answers with us. That was today's first big story, the U.S. government shutdown. But we're not done yet. Coming up, another major headline, Donald Trump's new Gaza peace plan and why Hamas says it's ready to accept parts of it.
Stay tuned. It's going to be very interesting.